loud. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement today. And the UWCFD and the whole U acknowledge that we live and work on the traditional territories of the Duwamish and Coastal Salish peoples, and that we occupy this land. While we recognize that this acknowledgement does not replace authentic relationships with Indigenous communities, we hope that it honors with gratitude the land and its original inhabitants. And so now let's get going. For those of you I don't know, my name is Jolynn Mason, and I am the campaign manager for the UW Combined Fund Drive. And I am super excited to welcome you to No Sew Fleece blanket making for Seattle Humane.
Yourself?
Oh yeah, I should probably do that. Okay, hold on, let me spotlight myself. Oh no, I didn't want to stop my video. Oh my God, you guys, you know, this is totally, no, that's okay. Thank you. Spotlight. There we go. Yeah, so this is exciting. So we have a group here in our office too, which I think is great. These are some of my fabulous colleagues at UWHR. Anyway, so I'm going to just say you're welcome to work on your blanket during the presentation. I'm going to give you a couple of starting tips so that you are ready to go when we get going. Okay. Yeah. All right. So all of you got fleece that's pinned together. You can see this. And you'll notice that there's a big extra line of turquoise over here. What you're going to want to do before you do anything, I like to pin my fleece so that it's pretty close to where I want it to be. And then I'm just going to cut it around these edges. And I'm going to take off this extra fabric. So that's going to be the first thing you want to do. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do your corners. For those of you who are not weird crafting nerds like me and legitimately do not have 3 additional rulers on you right now, y'all got this little UWCFD bookmark, which is also a handy dandy ruler. So part of cutting for crafting is, part of the cutting is figuring out what size your blanket squares and ties are going to be. So the first thing you do is you cut out a square on each corner, and then that will be the size that you're cutting for the rest of the blanket. So what I would do, and I'm just gonna do this really quick. Let me see. Okay, so up here, I'm lining up on the top, which, okay, I'm gonna try and do this backwards. I feel like Ginger Rogers right now, backwards and in heels. So I'm gonna do 4 inches, and so I can see that's 4 inches. So I'm just gonna give my, oh my gosh, sorry, I can't actually cut that way. So I'm just gonna give my fleece a little cut so I know that that's where the 4-inch mark is this way. And then I'm going to do 4 inches again down here. And I'm gonna give my fleece again. It's amazing. I'm gonna cut. And then you kind of can see that they're where they will intersect. So you want to just kind of give it a quick cut and another quick cut. And boom, check it out. I have my corner done. And then you can see this length is about how long all your ties are going to be. So
4 by 4.
4 by 4. They'll be 4 inches.
This is better.
Yeah, go ahead. I have tons of scissors here. So those are just some things to kind of get you started. If you have questions during the presentation, you can throw them in the chat. We will also have plenty of time after our fabulous special guest is here. After Nicole is done presenting, and we can ask questions then too. So just as a reminder, the envelopes that I sent supplies out in can be used to mail them back. And if you could send them back to us by the 26th, that would be amazing. I would love that. Our box number is 359200. And please, if you're crafting with a group, take pictures. Just please also, we're going to have a moment where we take pictures of everyone together on the screen. So I hope that, I know not everybody is excited about appearing on screen, but if you could turn your camera on for that, that would be amazing. We've got some hashtags to share. I will drop those in the chat. Please post on your socials, on our socials, tag us and tag Seattle Humane. I'm going to let you know that the Seattle Humane, one of the challenges with their social media is that when you look at it, it's all adorable cats and dogs, and you might want to adopt 17. So just consider yourself warned. I will go ahead and get started with Nicole. And I am very excited, everyone, today to welcome Nicole Collin from Seattle Humane to tell us more about the amazing work they're doing. Take it away, Nicole.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here. What a great turnout. You'll have to tell me how you got that fancy screen set up with all the videos, because it's amazing. But I'll just start off. I am the Development Events Associate at Seattle Humane, and I work a lot with our workplace giving folks like yourself, employees who give through their work portals. And I also work on our special events team, which some of you may have heard of our fundraiser, Tuxes and Tails. So yeah, I'll just share my screen. Apologize if you hear any pets. I was telling them I'm currently pet sitting and they're all getting very needy at once. So we'll see if there's any barking, hopefully not. So I'll just share my screen real quick. Awesome, and hopefully you all can see this. It's been a while. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about Seattle Humane. A lot of you may know us obviously as being a shelter that does adoptions of cats, dogs, and critters, but it's really amazing what programs we have that support the community as well and pet owners. So we really want to promote the human-animal bonds, and we serve pets in need, whether they're, in a different state, a different age, maybe they're a very old senior pet who has a lot of health issues. We'll really work with them and get them trained, especially the dogs who may have behavioral issues, and we'll help them get trained and so they can prepare for their forever families, which is really fantastic. We have a really incredible training staff, and we are a private nonprofit, which means we don't receive any government funding. A lot of our funding, 80% of the operational costs goes to animals, and then the majority of our operational costs comes from donors alone. So that really just kind of keeps the lights on, has the staff paid, pays for food for the animals. And we actually just turned 125 this past summer. We had a great summer celebrating. We had a few different events, from an open house that welcomed over 200 people, as well as a happy hour at a local brewery. And a lot of you, the shelter used to be in Seattle, but we moved to Bellevue in '72. And I'm not sure if a lot of you saw the old shelter, which it was much smaller. This new shelter went in 2017. And it has 3 different stories. The old shelter was just 1 story. So it's really nice that we have the room to separate the cats and dogs, just to help limit the amount of stress. And that's what we really had in mind when we built this building. We're really proud that this building offers resources that unfortunately a lot of other shelters don't have. So a lot of the animals you'll see in the shelter actually come from shelters across the state, as well as some national shelters who just need a little help, who've reached their capacity, who can't treat certain cases. So that's really impressive. One of those things that we can do is isolate pets in our isolation units. It's really effective way of treating those really infectious and often deadly diseases. Ringworm isn't deadly, but it's very contagious. But also we're able to treat parvo, which can be a very dangerous disease. And we just have the space outdoors to really enrich our pets. We have multiple play runs where they can get their energy out. And we also have meet and greet yards, which is really unique. If you have a dog at home, you'll be able to bring the dog in. And it's a really safe and controlled experience where you can have them meet in an outdoor area. I'm not honestly sure how the cat and dog process goes. So that's something that if you're interested, I'd be happy to ask our team about. And kind of what I was talking about earlier, having those programs in place to really try to keep the number of surrenders down and pets out of the shelter in the first place. We really believe that everyone deserves to have a pet regardless of their circumstance. So we actually have a pet owners assistance fund, which people can donate to in it's called Polly Pockets Fund that was created by a donor. And it really just keeps pets and families together by providing a sense of income for these programs. And it really helps with unexpected costs. If a pet owner needs to have an expensive surgery, we'll really help them to provide as much financial aid as possible. As well as people who are facing issues with housing, if they need us to cover their pet rents or their deposits, we're here to do that as well. Our community medicine program is mobile, so we'll actually go into the community and go to some of those neighborhoods that have underserved populations. And we'll take our vehicle there and administer required vaccines for free. And we also offer those families free wellness exams, kind of what you see at a vet's office as well. And then my favorite program is the SPOT program. It's probably, I think, 2 years old now, so it's new. And it's supporting pet owners in transition. So we will take on your pet for 90 days free of care, and we'll keep them in the shelter, and we'll try our quickest to get them into a foster family to spend as little time in the shelter as possible and still be in a home that can devote, more constant attention until you're ready to come back and pick them up. I know in the past we've had medical emergencies, long-term moving projects that people need to keep their pet in one place for. So it's a really no questions asked program, which I really appreciate. And our pet food bank is probably our most utilized program that we offer. It's about 60,000 meals a month that we give out to the community members who are in need. We really just believe that no one should have to choose between feeding themselves or their families and their pets, because obviously pets are family. And it's completely volunteer led. They'll sort inventory, and they'll also make special deliveries. So they'll volunteer their time to make trips to Seattle or anywhere pets may need food. And let's see. And the Maxmobile is one of the ways we do that. It used to be an adoptions vehicle for adoptions events. Not that that's gone away. We're just currently focusing on more of an educational purpose for the vehicle. So we'll go out to public events. We went to the Sounders game, and Pet Supplies Plus had their grand opening in Factoria. So really just going to teach the public more about our services, as well as going to some schools and having classroom days. And it's also completely climate controlled, so we can use it for disaster or emergency relief. Oftentimes we have other vehicles that will pick up dog transfers from the airport that may have come in from a place that's experiencing flooding or storms. And we can use the Max for that too if we have an overflow. And probably my favorite part of our building, I actually got the privilege to shadow some of our vets and doctors, as well as our Wazoo students which I know you guys are UW, but we work with the Washington State University with their 4th-year medical students or veterinary students. And they help us with the mass majority of our spay and neuter surgeries, which really allows us the time to also be able to expand into some really high intensity procedures. We do everything from dental, which is our probably most performed procedure other than spay and neuter, but we can also do radiology, and we can also do mass removals, amputations. So it's a really high capacity. And once again, we really have those ICU units that can isolate pets and also give them a place to recover after their, oh, here's the cat, after they are recovering from their procedure. And we just kind of wanted to give a boost to adoption. I know a lot of you know the importance of adoption. About 6.3 million pets go into shelters every year, and that's just in the US alone. And it was just updated that about 2/3 are adopted. A lot of the times at our shelter, you'll see sometimes it's the more senior pets that sadly get left behind. It normally takes them a little bit longer to get adopted, but we really take pride in our adoption program because we'll really work with the adopting family to come up with a health plan for them and kind of teach them the ways to manage their health issues that they might have. And we'll also work with you to find the best fit for your home, whether you live in an apartment, you have an active lifestyle, you're at work for a lot of the day. There's really a pet for everybody. And I just wanted to highlight some of the numbers. I don't have to go over all of these for our summer that we had. We're still talking about summer because it was really incredible. We turned 125 years old, like I said, but we really just had some really great numbers. Over almost 1,700 animals were adopted in 3 months alone, and we had 750 plus go into foster care. So that's 750 animals that didn't have to spend any time in the shelter. About 56,000 pounds of pet food. And we opened a new dog training program, which is new to this year. I believe we used to have it many, many years ago, and we were able to bring it back. We have anything but from reactive dog training to teach you how to I'm not sure if correct is the right word, but to correct your dog. If you see another dog on the street and your dog's not liking that, you can kind of redirect their attention and really just get them to focus in. And we had an incredible, one of our biggest numbers yet, almost 1,300 spay and neuter surgeries alone. And I'll go quickly over this, but just some things that we're really hoping for. 2026 is a target year for us. So people's support in the community really helps us towards these goals. We want to really provide the most affordable veterinary care we can. Currently, there's a vet shortage in the US, and I'm sure farther than the US. So we're really just trying to promote veterinary careers to the public, and by showing them what incredible work that they're doing in our community to support them. And we want to even lower our adoption costs. Right now, we have a tiered system that goes by income. If you adopt an older animal, such as a senior, we even have an incentive that they can be adopted for, I think, $125. And that's before the income level. And that's just to really get those seniors out the door. And really the only reason we charge is to cover the procedures we do and the vaccines we do and the care we provide for them. And we really just want to advocate for the people who love pets. right next door, we actually have it's kind of a combination of things. It's a low income facility for families and singles, as well as a homeless shelter. And I believe they're opening this or next year. And we're already working with the owner to provide our programs for all of the residents who live in there, because it is a pet friendly facility that is not charging them for pet rent or a pet deposit, which is really amazing, because that's something that we also want to advocate for, is lowering the cost of those fees, that since housing is so high to begin with. And a few ways you can help. Obviously, donations is kind of the big one that everyone thinks about. There's so many ways you can do it other than just going through a website. You can host a fundraiser and rally your coworkers, whether it's a bake sale or a Facebook fundraiser. You can be advocates in the community, kind of spreading what you've learned today, as well as donating through your portal. And in-kind donations are always appreciated. We take any types of dog food and cat food and supplies, and that will be directly given to the community as well. And non-monetary options, we are really in need of foster families right now. Fostering is really fantastic because we work with your schedule, whether you want a short-term commitment that's only a week long, or you want a longer commitment. That might look like fostering a kitten or a puppy until they're ready for their surgery or recovering from surgery, as well as those long-term projects can be taking care of pets that are in our spot program that might need care for a few months at a time. And you're able to go on vacation and not be available for a week. We'll figure that out for you and put them into a temporary secondary foster home until you're ready to come back from vacation. And what you're doing today is really helpful. Volunteering. You can volunteer many different ways. We use so many blankets every single day at the shelter. When I was shadowing vet services, you would not believe the amount of blankets they used in the recovery rooms after surgery. And with the blankets you're making today will most likely actually go into the cubbies themselves where the pets stay. And it's really great because when the cat is adopted, that blanket will go home with them as well. So it will be in their future family's home. And to kind of round off volunteering, we do have longer term commitment opportunities. A lot of our volunteers will volunteer every day of the week we're open for a few hours, whether that be walking dogs or feeding the cats. There's so many different opportunities there. And I think that kind of rounds out. I know that's a lot of information. If you have any questions, I can try my best. I'm not that great at answering kind of the operational questions quite yet, but I'm happy to get those answered for you. And if you were interested in donating with monetary, I have our Seattle Humane charity code on the screen for you. And I'm happy to follow up with you, Jillian, and get you that number as well at a later time, because I know I never have a pen and pencil anymore, so you don't have to worry about writing it down. But yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. Hold on, I have to admit a participant. Super exciting, super interesting information. I always think I know so much about organizations, and then when I hear these presentations, I always learn so much about what you're doing. And I'm a pet owner, I'm a pet lover. One of my very dear friends actually adopted her cat from Seattle Humane, and I was talking to her about making these blankets, and she was talking about the blanket that she took home with her, and how nice that was as a transition object for the cat. So really grateful that you have opportunities like this for volunteers. We do have a question, and it says, do you give the cats catnip toys, and or do you have a shop where you could sell them if somebody had them?
Yeah,
you?
so we actually have during the winter time with a lot of stores, we do holiday giving trees, and one of the items we always list is catnip because it's just such a great enrichment activity. And I'm also happy to send you our community service project PDF that we have. It has projects kind of like blanket making. And one of the things that we have directions for is actually fleece catnip toys, where you can just tie a knot around catnip and they just go crazy. And then
Everybody in my room just got real excited about
Yeah.
that. So maybe send me your scraps and we'll send you some fleece catnip toys.
Yeah.
and I know, like, if you have long strips of scrap fabric, Leia, the dog's barking. Please, we're almost done. If you have long strips of fabric, you can actually even make cat wand toys with them. It's a little more complicated. I need to learn how to tie knots better, but another fleece activity would be making tug toys for dogs as well.
Your buckets are.
Excellent. Does anybody have, oh, Allison, that's so kind. Y'all, Allison, is it okay with you if I put in my message that folks can send you their corners to make catnip toys? Excellent. So Nicole, as part of the follow-up, I'll send out an email thanking people because you're awesome and I enjoy thanking people. It's literally the best part of my job. Actually that and the candy, it's kind of a toss-up some days. And I will include your information, Allison. Thank you so much. And I will also include the number, the charity code for Seattle Humane. So if you all want to make a gift, you can do that. Oh my gosh, Donna, and okay, so it looks like we have Donna and Allison and maybe Rebecca. I'm gonna see about hooking you three up to turn you into my catnip machine crew. Yeah, because we've got plenty of corners here, and I know whenever I make these blankets, I get so many corners. Anybody else have any questions?
It's the best mindless activity because you can just crank out so many when you're watching Netflix or anything.
What? Is that something people do? Yeah, so part of the reason I learned to do this craft many years ago was as easy. I'm a knitter and I had a young child and it felt overwhelming to knit baby blankets, but I was like, I can cut and I can tie a knot. So win-win. Donna, if you can have the blankets back to me, if everyone can have those back by the 26th, that would be great. Donna and Allison, let's see, toys too, if we can do that. If not, you can talk to me directly and we can figure something out. Allison, are you asking me or are you asking Nicole if there's a minimum age for volunteers? I'm going to say you're asking Nicole. Is there a minimum age for volunteers?
Yeah, I believe I should know this by now, but I believe it's 18. But for teens below adult age, we actually have a teen club, which is a program we do during the school year. And we have teens on campus and they'll be able to learn everything about animal welfare and how to handle animals. They'll be taught how to learn how to help animals with anxiety or properly take them on walks with the leashes. But the teen club also does many volunteer projects that are led by our wonderful education team. So it's kind of a separate department. Under 18 will go to our education department, and then anyone above 18 will be going to our actual volunteer people.
Excellent, thank you. Yes, Rebecca, kids can absolutely help with fostering. And it does make such a difference to get a cat or a dog that has not been in a shelter that comes directly to you through a foster. It makes a huge difference. Chris, you asked for a square knot. I'm going to show you what my version of a square knot is. So I have the 2 pieces of blanket and I make an X and I pull one through. So there's this, so they're not tied tight.
Mhm.
And then I do one more on top of that. And then, so see, it kind of winds up giving you like a little boat effect. And I leave a little room at the bottom so that the cats and dogs, I'm saying cats, I'm a cat, I love dogs. Dogs are great, but I am fully 100% a cat person. So this is for the cats because my cats also they both got Christmas llamas this year, which kind of look like these llamas. So I'm feeling like this is special for Dolly Burton and Miss Greta's spirit animals. Oh, thank you. Square knot, left over right and under, right over left, then through. We have a knot maker in our group. That is wonderful. So I have to say, I love that I am seeing so many folks who are working with other people. I think that's really great. Does anybody else have any questions for Nicole? All right. Well, Nicole,
I asked a question in the chat that if we want to make more on our own, what range of sizes are useful for you?
I know I've seen tie blankets downstairs with the dogs that are bigger. So those, if you're willing to spend time on one, those could be anywhere between 4 and 5 feet going down each side, larger squares. I think the cats around 18 inches. I think the thing to remember is once you make the blanket, it's probably going to be like 2 inches shorter on each side just because you're cutting and tying those knots. So I know our education department will sometimes do blankets that are more like probably like 24 by 36 inches. And because some cats are a little bigger than others, we've had our share of 38-pound cats before, which is crazy. So really just kind of like, it doesn't have to be exact. Same thing with the edges. You don't need perfect edges because once you like start tying, you won't be able to tell anyway. So definitely any larger ones. I see a lot of you have kind of more like tall horizontal blankets compared to squares. For the cats, that's always helpful just because it fits in their cubby better and covers more space. So really there's no wrong answer. And a lot of the times you can just kind of eyeball it and make your own judgment for size, but we can always use them for kittens too. If you have smaller bits of fabric that might not be big enough for another cat, it's way better than just wasting the fabric because fabric can be really expensive. So
yes, it can.
yes, get those discount codes.
Oh my gosh, yeah, even with the discount codes, I did talk them into giving us the remnant price. So win-win. So Melissa, thank you for sharing the square knot video. We have a question from Ellen. When did Seattle Humane Society change their name to Seattle Humane?
I believe it was quite a while ago. We've been around for 125 years. I'm not quite sure the exact how long it's been. I know a lot of people will get confused what name we are, and are a lot of times on like gift portals through employers. You'll see us by our legal name, which is I think it's Humane Society of Seattle and King County. So there's kind of just different variations. But I would say if I had to guess, it's been at least 20-25 years since we've changed it. But we'll happily go by either or.
Yeah, that is a good question, Ellen, because I hadn't thought about it until you said that. But then I was like, okay, I do have a different name. Does anybody in the UWHR blanket crafting table have any questions? All right. Well, it looks like we're wrapping up with questions. So I'm going to change the view to gallery view and close the chat. And I'm just going to ask if for a minute you all can turn your cameras on. We're cutting the corners 4 to 6 inches. Good question. So we can take a little picture of all of y'all. Oh my gosh, look, Grace, you've got so much. Oh, Northwest Hospital, look at you. Oh, Amanda, you got the owls. I love that. Oh, hi, Allison. Which print? Allison, I love that you have your cat in there. Oh my gosh, wait, hold up. Ellen, which one do you have? Oh, the llamas. That dog. Oh my God, you guys, this is so exciting to see. Okay, do I just do print screen, Nicole? All right. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, hold up your blanket. If you like, maybe don't cover your face because like
Don't cover your face.
yeah, this is like if you want to do blanket masks, you can, but I'm going to encourage you to hold them like this and be proud of the good work you're doing for the community. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take one for sorry, I just got a new computer. I don't know where things are. All right, page 1. Okay, gonna do page 2. Hold on. Page 2. Amazing. Love it. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so fun to see these put together when we were doing this. Oh wait, who's got Rebecca? Look at your sweet kitty. For those of you who are at home, do you want to share pictures? Do you want to include your sweet fur babies in the picture? If you don't already have a picture of them up. Oh, Brooke, I love your kitties. Oh, let's see. Allison, this is so fun. All right. For those of you who want to stay on and craft with us, you absolutely can. And for those of you who want to stay on and craft with us, you can. For those who want to craft independently, you can. I am going to turn off the recording. I really want to thank you all so much for participating and showing up today. We knew that this was going to be a good event when we closed it, and we still had people reaching out to us and saying, if I buy my own fleece, can I still participate? So we know that UW employees are incredibly kind, thoughtful, and generous, and that they love animals. And this has been so fun because I see folks working in groups and I see some of us working by ourselves, but we're all working together for the greater good. And that's one of the things that makes me so proud to be a UW employee and to partner with folks like Seattle Humane, my friends at the whole U who are over here. Lauren flew in from North Carolina just for this event. Yep. Not really, but yeah, I'm going to pretend she did. But we're so excited to be part of
reasonably well. I had to take my mask down because they took pictures.
Oh, that's fine.
It was